Mr. Moscow is the touchstone of the judicial integrity of this country. If Moscow is not free, then the whole world will have no trust in America's judicial system. There's no justice in this country if Moscow is not out of the jail. And so after the April 4th bond hearing, his bail request still has not been granted. At the same time, we're seeing the real criminals and people who have fraud tens of billions of dollars, like Bankman-Fried. He walked out free. People who have been participating in CCP's scheme to return Mr. Moscow to China back in 2017, like Press Michel, George Higginbotham, Elliot Brody, and Stephen Wynn, these people have took millions of dollars from the CCP, working on behalf of the CCP, trying to influence Trump's White House and DOJ, hoping to return Mr. Moscow back to China. These people are all off the hook. None of them spent a single day in federal jail. And the target of this whole political witch hunt and persecution, Mr. Moscow, is still behind the bar. I think for Press Michel, Mr. Moscow's testimony will help people to know that Press Michel is a very insignificant person in that whole scheme. There are bigger guys behind them. The bigger people behind them were off the hook. They're the people needs to be held accountable. All the big players in the conspiracy and in the law-breaking deal, all the truth about them have been suppressed by the mainstream media. And that's why very few people heard about Stephen Wynn, George Higginbotham, and Elliot Brody, but they're the bigger potatoes than just Press Michel. And now Press Michel is on trial in Washington, D.C., but the real story is about how America's most prominent power brokers and people in the high power places and influence have been bought out by the CCP. So if Moscow was allowed to testify in Press Michel's trial, all the big guys will be exposed. And that's the most important reason why the bail request for Mr. Moscow was denied and he cannot testify in Press Michel's trial currently going on in Washington, D.C.